You know how every school has that one couple nobody wants to sit near at lunch? Not because they're mean, not because they smell, just because being within 10 feet of them is a whole experience you didn't sign up for. Every single day. Same table, same corner, same energy. Like they claimed that spot freshman year and never left. And everybody just silently agreed to keep a buffer zone around them like they're radioactive. 2 seats on each side. Empty. Always empty. Even on the days the cafeteria was packed and people were stacking chairs. Nobody touched those seats. Unspoken law. You don't sit near Marcus and Destiny. Now let me paint the picture for you. Marcus shows up to lunch first. Every time. Backpack on both shoulders. Hoodie up. Walking like he's got somewhere important to be. He doesn't. He's just going to that table. He sits down, pulls out his sketchbook, doesn't touch his food, and just waits. Destiny comes in about 4 minutes later, and I mean the exact same 4 minutes every day. You could set a clock. She walks in like she's Rukia, entering a new arc. Slow, deliberate, hair over one eye, wearing something that technically followed dress code, but was doing its absolute best not to. She drops her bag, sits down, and then it begins. Whatever it was they did at that table every lunch period, I couldn't tell you exactly what, but I watched it once. I had to sit nearby because every other table was taken. And trust me, that was a mistake I made one time. First thing I noticed was the voices. They talked in this low hum, heads almost touching, like they were sharing classified information. Then Destiny laughed at something, but it wasn't a regular laugh. It was this high-pitched wheeze that stopped suddenly, like she caught herself. Then Marcus would say something back, and she'd do this thing where she grabbed his arm with both hands and just shook it, over and over. He didn't react, just kept talking, like a man who had accepted his fate. I'm looking at this like, bro, is everything okay over there? You need a signal? Blink twice. But no, he was fine. This was normal for them. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like I accidentally wandered into a side quest I had no business starting. But here's where it gets really weird. They ate the same thing every day. Not like they both liked pizza. I mean the exact same meal, same container, split down the middle, 2 forks. One of them would bring it, they'd divide it precisely, and eat in sync. I don't mean accidentally at the same pace. I mean they would literally pause and wait for each other between bites, like some kind of ritual. My friend Deja noticed it before I did. She pulled me aside one day and goes, "Have you clocked how they eat?" And I said no. She goes, "Watch. Tomorrow. Same time." I watched. She was right. It was synchronized. Every single bite. I don't know what kind of arc they were in, but it looked like they trained for it. Like they sat down one day and agreed, bro, from now on we eat as one unit. Shout out to them, genuinely. But also that's concerning. I could never. If you try to control when I take a bite of my food, it's over. That's a deal breaker. You can control a lot of things. Not the fork, and the note passing. See, even though they sat together every day, they still wrote notes to each other at the same table. Not texting, actual handwritten notes on folded paper. They'd write something, slide it over, the other one would read it, write back, slide it, right there, 3 feet apart. You have a mouth. You have words. You are sitting next to this person, and I get it, there's something romantic about handwritten stuff. But in the middle of lunch, at this table, with Marcus looking like he's about to tell her the truth about the Soul Society, it's a lot. Deja tried to intercept one once. She walked past their table on her way to the trash, and she knocked it off the edge by accident. Marcus caught it midair, did not look up, just caught it, placed it back on the table, and kept writing. Reflexes like he'd been training in the hyperbolic time chamber. Deja came back to our table shaking her head. She goes, "I felt something when I got close to them." I said, "What?" She goes, "I don't know," like a warning. We left it there. Now the real moment. The moment that confirmed everything. It was a Thursday. Some guy named Brendan, who had the humor of a ceiling fan on low speed, decided it would be funny to walk past their table and go, "Aw, the weirdos are in love." Loud, in front of everyone. And for a second, nothing happened. Marcus didn't look up. Destiny didn't flinch. The whole cafeteria kind of paused. Brendan laughed at his own joke, started walking away. Then Destiny looked up. She didn't say anything. She just looked at him. And whatever was in that look, I don't know. But Brendan stopped walking. He didn't turn around. He just stopped. Stood there for a second. Then he went and sat down at his own table and didn't say anything for the rest of lunch. His boys asked him what happened. He said nothing. I was watching from 2 tables over, and I saw his face. That was a man who got one look and decided today was not the day. She didn't even say a word, just looked at him, like Mikasa deciding something wasn't worth her time. Brendan never said anything to them again. Smart choice, honestly. Some people you just don't poke. And the thing is, they weren't hurting anyone. I want to be clear about that. They were just existing in their own world, completely unbothered by everything around them. No drama, no beef, no cliques, No social climbing, just Marcus, Destiny, their matching lunch, their notes, and their 4 empty surrounding seats. Part of me respected it, I'm not going to lie. There's something almost admirable about 2 people who just fully committed to their own reality and let the rest of the school do whatever. Because everybody else was out here performing for attention, catching feelings over group chats, fighting over who sat where, and these 2 just sat down every day and didn't care, not even a little. You could respect that, or you could be Brendan and find out. The last week of school, something changed though. Marcus showed up to that table alone. Same time, same spot. He put his bag down, opened his sketchbook, pulled out 2 forks out of habit. Then he looked at the second fork for a second, put it back in the bag, and just waited. She never came. Not that day, not the rest of the week. Nobody knew what happened, nobody asked. You don't ask people like Marcus what's going on. That's not a conversation you start. He sat there every day that last week, eating alone, not drawing, not writing, just sitting there with the sketchbook closed. And those 4 empty seats around him felt different now, like they meant something else. Deja said she felt bad. I said same. We thought about going over there. We didn't. But on the last day of school, Destiny walked in right at the 4-minute mark. She sat down. No explanation. No drama. She pulled out the container. She split it down the middle. She put a fork on his side without looking up, and Marcus just opened his sketchbook like nothing happened. Whole cafeteria had no idea. Me and Deja saw the whole thing though. I don't know what they talked about or what note got passed first, but I'll tell you this much. Whatever those 2 had going on, it was built different. I'm not even going to try and explain it. You ever notice how people at your school have completely different reputations depending on who you ask? Like you ask one group about somebody and they go, "Oh, he's actually so nice, super chill." Then you ask a different group the next day and they're looking at you like you just said a bad word. Same person. Completely different reality. My boy Devin had that problem, but on a level I've never seen before. 3 different versions of himself existing at the same time in the same building. To the teachers, he was the quiet, focused student. Never late, always had his work done. Yes ma'am, no sir, all of that. But to his boys, totally different person. And to this one particular girl in his 3rd period,